Hello, everybody. It's Phil the Miniature Model Maker coming to you in this fourth and last Stillmania September project update. And we have excellent news. I thought last week that I wasn't going to be able to get these things done, but I did. It it's finished to my satisfaction to meet the goals of the project. I'm honestly surprised I did it. I had more progress done on the Fire Warriors stealth suits, on the things that were left over, than I expected. So a couple hours over on Twitch got me the weathering done, the panel lining done, and just about everything taken care of. So this is 500 points of town. This is a legal combat patrol list. So we did it. We met our Stillmania goal of building a tabletop ready. Oh, hold on, my old boy needed up on the bed. Um, tabletop standard minimum size legal game list to start the project off. And I'm really, really happy with it. There's still quite a bit left to do in the future, but that's for the future. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. Oh yeah, I got bases. Finally, these were starting to get wear along the little fins there, so I got them put on bases, and everything, the entire army is all going to get fully based at once. Once I reach the 2,000 points, because originally I had the army set up in different detachments under the various commanders, and they were getting slightly different basing schemes. But now that I have stripped some things, cleared out basing, we'll think about how to do basing schemes when everything's ready to go. So this, as we've seen before, this was my standard, my gold standard for the Piranha. It had little details in here, and as I was going through doing the second one, I realized that my brushes just aren't able to handle what I want to accomplish. So I decided that it would be in my best interest to not do these little viewports, screens, and lights and things on any of these others until I get brushes that can do the work that I need them to do to achieve what I want. So this guy's lens is not going to get done. The lenses on here and the screens on here are not going to get done. Same thing with the stealth suits. Not until I get better brushes. That's okay. Whatever. Um, I'm still considering potential for dry brushing these faceplates on the stealth suits, but the next box has the other six, and I figure I'll do them all at once. Because this still looks okay. It's basic, good enough for tabletop, but I think the rest of the paint scheme kind of makes up for the very basic face on that. And I ended up being very happy with the change on the weapons. The gray and black looks great, and I tied in the same thing I did with the Fire Warriors rifles. I put some of the the dark green paint on it. I want to say Nagaroth Night. It's not Nagaroth Night. Nocturne green, and then used the green streak and grime on that as a coat, and I think that turned out very well, both on here where I did black, green, green, and then the light green, and also on these. So yeah, that looks suitably stealthy. Everything got a pin wash with the Tamiya panel liner. These guns got a little bit extra around it. It's glossy with the amount that has to go in here to fill in these bigger GW recess details. So once everything's said and done, I'm going to put a matte varnish over everything. But for now, it's good, and it really helps to define the panels. The keen-eyed among you probably noticed a difference between these two guys. When I did this first one, I did these little things metallic, and without thinking, I left these ones green. I'm not sure which I like better. I'm leaning towards this with the green around the cowling, but I don't know yet, so I'm going to just let it sit and let it be and see over time which one emerges as the victor. I'm probably going to be this, but I don't want to paint these, find out I don't like it, and have to repaint both of them metallic. I'd rather just end up doing one of them. And this probably needs a little bit more of the grime removed. But yeah, there we go. Those are done. Future details on these also, the weapons, and we'll get some more highlights. I did the dry brushing over this guy. I got what I needed done on it. But again, tabletop standard. It looks good enough for tabletop. And I need to hold myself to that, or else I'll get stuck in the loop of detail, detail, detail. This guy got glued, and here they both are. So this is the leader of the three, which is why it has the blue helmet, using the sept color. And I decided that I would do the same thing on these as I did with the Fire Warriors and leave the cast symbol on the chest, the main armor color, but go ahead and do the shoulder. This one does need some more details, needs a bit more grime. All of these need more detail grime on them. So I could do that. I'm recording this on Friday the 26th, so I've got time to go back through and make some aesthetic changes to things. Like I panel lined some of these things on here that I didn't panel line on here. Maybe could use different color streak and grime on some of these just to get the colors right. And going forward, one thing I am going to do on these is figure out which of these smaller panels I want to do in this dark green. Like for sure I'm going to do the fronts of these guns in that dark green, but you know, we've got these little shoulder panels, this little panel here, some panels on the legs and shoulder. You know, Tau typically get one or more of these individual panels colored in. But I'm not sure how I want to do that yet. And because I'm not sure and I don't want to go through and do it again, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it sit and be happy with the progress. And eventually, once I've worked on more models and get an idea of maybe how I want to use those extra lines and things filled in on everybody to denote rank or denote detachment or squad or whatever, then I can go back through and add those details. But again, that's something that can be added at any time in the future. And the Fire Warriors are all pretty much exactly as is. I did used a little bit of the black panel liner here on the backpack to define things. I tried some on the helmet on one of these guys, but it didn't quite look right and wasn't as effective as I had wanted. So I'm going to save the panel liner for the bigger things and let the Fire Warriors do that. I mean, now that I look at it, it does kind of add a little something. But they're infantry. I don't need to be spending oodles of time and materials getting my infantry hyper detailed right now. That's something that can happen in the future. And the Cadre Fireblade is the same paint scheme he's always had. I just went through and panel lined some of these things. I don't think I'm going to go through and repaint this one. I'll probably do the rifle and maybe touch up, do some of the same cloth highlights that I did on these guys on him, just to bring his visual standard back to be in line with the rest of the army. But he'll stay pretty much as is. I'm fairly pleased with the dirt and other effects on the cloak. Cloth is really hard for me, so I'm not gonna push it and potentially ruin something that I'm currently happy with. But there we are. That's my 500 point end of September report. Let's put these to the side and look at what's coming in the future. And those of you who watched the last video heard in my voice that I was getting tired and I was pushing myself too hard to get these done and was starting to get lost in my own head about progress and making content and things. And thought, okay, well, I'm not going to get that done. And that when the time comes that I do start the next batch, I'm going to take it more slowly. September, 500 points. I know that now if I really, really push myself and stay up late, I'll be able to get 500 points done, but it's not worth the progress is not worth the trouble that it causes. So we've got this ghost keel. Oh, and only 3 more stealth suits. Well, that's good. And we'll get our other guys organized here. So these are the breachers and pathfinders. I got a lot of progress done on the pathfinders last month, so we're a little bit ahead of the game with them. There we go. But I need to get this organized and see what we have to do and talk about what's going to come first, what's going to come second. And there we are. These are just the 10 breachers. I've got my other rail rifle. One thing I need to look up is how many of the special weapons can go into a squad of Pathfinders. Now that they're a 10-man squad, can I only put 3 of these per 10? Or is it still 3 per 5? If it's 3 per 5, well then I'm in good shape. I can just do this. If not, we'll have to figure something out. I may end up either shelving these for now, putting them away until I can build more Pathfinders. Because having one squad's good enough. Uh, or I might just build some more. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Once I find that out, I'll make the decision at the time. So here's what I've got. I've got a Ghost Keel that needs to have his weapons primed. Got the 3 stealth suits, 10 Pathfinders, these guys here, and 10 Breachers. Thinking about Stillmania and using further modeling to expand your army, what would I do first? Well, there, if I account for the drones I've got, then I've got decent marker lights. But if I don't, because they're not painted, then I've got the Cadre Fireblade and stealth suits here with marker lights. But that's not a whole lot. I could always use more, which would be the Pathfinder squad. Over there. I've got 10. I've got one squad of regular fire warriors. Adding a breacher team would help with objective control. The stealth suits could help with that too. The ghost keel could help. I had originally thought maybe to do the ghost keel first to give myself some little bit more mobile and durable. The broadsides are relatively durable, but they've got poor mobility. And the piranhas have great mobility but poor durability. And in small scale games like 1,000 point games, a ghost keel is a pretty strong centerpiece anchor for everything. But thinking about it from the perspective of, all right, I've got my first thing, I'm playing games, what am I going to need to continue playing games, even though I'm not currently playing games with them? My guess would probably be the first thing would be Pathfinders. Get me some more marker lights, get some objective control, and see how that plays out. Oh, excuse me. And then maybe more stealth suits. And then possibly the breachers, but I know I want to work on the ghost kill. I do. I want to have that in the army. And I think it would be a whole lot of fun to paint. But it doesn't make practical sense as far as useful army expansion. You know, that I can use to theoretically play games while I'm painting these other things. So if I cop out, I could get these guys done pretty quickly, I think, relatively quickly. And that would be a good, useful addition to the army. Give a little bit more flexibility. And then probably the ghost keel. It's a big project, and I'm thinking about how I do things. I've got a feeling I'm going to need to put it down, let it sit, think about how I'm going to paint certain things along the way, and end up probably working on the breachers. And the stealth suits may be last, not counting these guys. Um, so yeah, that's probably how it's going to go. But I'm just going to work on things until as I want until they get done. Because if it doesn't bring joy, don't do it, right? I want to make sure that I'm enjoying the process, enjoying the hobby, because that's what it's currently all about is the hobby. And with 11th edition coming up soon-ish, coming up next year for sure, I'm curious to see how many points of these guys I can get painted, get up to ready to play in time for 11th edition to come out. That might be kind of a neat channel goal. The race to 11th. Can I get the full 2,000 points painted before it's time? Maybe we might be able to. I think it's possible. Oh yeah, with the piranhas, I also need to glue these guys on. They're done. I just haven't glued them on because I didn't have them on bases. Now I can. So that's that. This is expansion 1. We have hit a this is a record for me, folks, honestly. In the past, I struggled to get 250 points done to what could generously be called very basic tabletop standard. And I got 500 points up to slightly nice tabletop standard. With some details done. So this is the first time in my life I have ever gotten a full 500 points painted to this level at all ever, let alone in 1 month. So that's a really big win, and I need to remind myself of that going forward when the dark days come. More working on these. But also it's like, okay, gives me that freedom to slow down and enjoy the process more. Be true to Stillmania. Hobby for the enjoyment of the hobby. Play for the enjoyment of the game. And your army will get there when it gets there. So thank you very much, folks, who have joined me on this journey. I hope you continue joining me for future updates. We'll definitely be doing that, and soon I'm going to start uploading the streams and personal time YouTube exclusive videos I made of painting all of this stuff. So I might continue doing a weekly update like Warhammer Wednesdays, showing progress reports of everything at once in a smaller video, along with more frequent uploads of painting streams or painting videos if I just want to be quiet. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about that? Do you just want weekly updates, or do you want to see the full process as I go through it all, both stream and recorded? Or do you want both? I would really be interested in hearing your input. So thank you all very, very much. I am always grateful for your time. And just to let you know, I finally got off my butt and went through the monetization onboarding process over on Twitch. So if you've got a Prime subscription that you're not using for somebody else, I can now accept Prime subscriptions over there, and it's no cost to you if you already have Amazon Prime for your own personal use. Toss your Bezos bucks over to me so I can buy more paints. That's what I'll be using it for, is buying paints and brushes for these guys. So I have been Phil the Miniature Model Maker in my last Stillmania September update of 2025. Remember, folks, that this is a hobby. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. Be good to yourselves, okay? Bye-bye.